Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into a story that, honestly, almost defies belief. Imagine a man, swept floors for a living, a gas station attendant, who died a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
This isn't some tech titan or, a lottery winner. It's the story of Ronald Reed.
That Vermont janitor.
Exactly. Amassed over $8 million. It's completely counterintuitive, isn't it, in a world obsessed with flashy wealth?
It really is. And that's our mission for this deep dive, right?
Right.
To unpack that, to pull out the core insights, the real wisdom from Ronald Reed's. Well, it's truly an untold story.
Mm-hmm.
Our research shows these fundamental truths about building wealth that, frankly, most people just overlook.
Right.
And it's not about complex finance stuff. It's about being smarter with what you earn, whatever your income.
So who was this guy? Ronald Reed.
Tell us.
Born 1921, rural Vermont. Poor family, grew up during the Great Depression. That definitely shaped him.
Oh, for sure. That era left a mark on people regarding money.
He was actually the first in his whole family to graduate high school. That he served in World War II, came back home, and worked 2 jobs. Gas station attendant by day.
And a janitor at JCPenney by night.
Yeah. Long hours, quiet guy, never complained, and just incredibly frugal.
Like legendarily frugal from what the sources say.
Oh, totally. Drove a secondhand car for ages, wore the same plain clothes, the flannel jacket, the hat. Anyone looking at him would think, okay, here's a guy just barely getting by, humble life.
And this is what's just astonishing. The contrast between that appearance and the reality. He never earned more than, what, $40,000 a year, max?
That's what the sources indicate, yeah, 40K max.
And yet he dies in 2014, aged 92, leaves behind over $8 million.
Wow.
And then the shockwaves really hit when people found out he donated almost $4.8 million to the local hospital.
Brattleboro Memorial, yeah.
And another $1.2 million to his local library.
His friends, his neighbors,
Well,
they must have been floored.
completely floored. They had absolutely no idea. He wasn't looking for pats on the back, just quiet humility.
It's remarkable because most people, they want the secret sauce, the quick win. How did he resist chasing trends, especially when others probably were?
Well, the research makes it clear it wasn't luck. It wasn't some inheritance nobody knew about. It was just this unwavering commitment to fundamental principles.
Yeah.
His real secret weapons, if you want to call them that, were discipline, immense patience, and just a rock-solid mindset, focused on the long haul.
Steady, not sensational.
Exactly. His path was steady.
And it's those powerful, almost countercultural methods that, our sources kind of distill into these 4 rules of the game.
Right.
And they're not just financial tips, are they? They feel more like a roadmap for, a different way of living.
That's a great way to put it. His untold story shows how discipline, patience, that mindset, those were his weapons. Let's break them down.
Okay.
Rule number 1, live below your means, always.
This is where it gets really interesting. Ronald was seen as cheap, wasn't he? Making coffee at home, fixing things that same coat for years.
Stitching up holes in his clothes instead of buying new ones, things like that.
So most people would just label him cheap for doing that. But what's the deeper idea there?
Well, the sources clarify this nicely. It's like being frugal doesn't mean being poor.
Okay.
It means choosing freedom over approval. Think about it. Every time someone else was buying the latest phone or a fancy car, Ronald was quietly buying shares, often in the same companies making those things.
So he wasn't consuming the products, he was owning the producer.
Exactly. He was an owner, not primarily a consumer. That's a huge mental shift.
Okay, rule 2.
Rule number 2, invest early. Let time work for you. Ronald really got compound interest, the whole 8th wonder of the world thing.
Right, it's slow but powerful.
Totally. It doesn't work fast, but it works relentlessly. Turning small bits into mountains over decades. He started young, just buying small amounts of stock. And crucially, in stable, dividend-paying companies.
Not the flashy stuff.
Nope. No volatile tech startups back then, or whatever the equivalent was. He held them for decades and reinvested every single dividend payment.
That reinvesting part is key, isn't it?
Oh, massive. These sources give this example. $100 of Johnson & Johnson stock in, say, 1970.
Okay.
With dividends reinvested, that $100 could have ballooned into tens of thousands by the time he died.
Wow, just from $100.
Yeah. Now multiply that by hundreds of similar steady purchases over a lifetime. You see how a janitor gets to millionaire status.
And you mentioned high-quality companies. He liked Procter & Gamble, J&J, JP Morgan Chase, GE. What made them high quality in his eyes?
Good question. Based on the analysis, it looks like it was their consistent profits, being leaders in their fields, And really importantly, a long track record of paying dividends and often increasing those dividends.
So reliable income generators.
Exactly. He wasn't chasing rapid growth. He wanted durable, profitable giants paying him back consistently.
Okay, rule number 3, stay consistent no matter what.
So what does this mean when the market goes crazy?
Well, most investors panic in a crash, right? They sell everything.
Yeah, fear takes over.
Ronald didn't. He kind of saw crashes as discounts. Like, oh, good, stocks are on sale.
Huh. That's a different perspective.
It is. While others were running for the exits, selling low, he was calmly buying more. He held steady through recessions, wars, you name it, over like 70 years. There's a great line in one source. Wealth isn't built in the boom. It's built in the crash by those who don't quit.
He just ignored the noise.
Totally. Ignored trends, ignored the daily chatter, just focused on long-term value.
That's way easier said than done, though. Did the sources suggest how he managed the emotional roller coaster, seeing his money go up and down? Any tips for someone listening who gets spooked by dips?
That's a really good point. It's psychological, right?
The sources emphasize his focus was just relentlessly long-term. He saw dips as temporary, not permanent losses. Sales, basically. His consistency came from trusting the process, trusting that historically markets recover and go up over time, more than trusting his gut feelings in the moment.
Detach from the headlines, focus on the decades.
That's the idea. Zoom out. A bad month or even a bad year looks tiny on a 30-year chart.
Okay. And the last rule. Rule 4.
Rule number 4. Stay humble and quiet. You won't find YouTube videos of Ronald Reed showing off, right? No interviews, no bragging online about his portfolio.
Yeah, and that humility makes the end result even more powerful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
His neighbors thought he was just scraping by. The total opposite of today's look-at-me wealth culture.
Precisely. He wasn't after fame. The goal was different. It was peace, freedom, and the ability to help quietly. He lived like nobody else, deliberately, so that when he passed, he could give like nobody else, quietly helping fund healthcare and books for his community.
This story, it really feels like it's less about money tactics and more about a mindset shift.
I think so, too.
Ronald showed us you don't need to earn a ton. Just own what you earn meticulously.
Say a lot.
You don't need to be a genius investor, just radically consistent, even when it's unpopular. You don't need 1 million followers, just a millionaire plan. And you definitely don't need to impress anyone. Just invest in your future.
Yeah, you don't have to be loud to be legendary. That captures it well. Ronald Reed proved it. Background, connections, high income, irrelevant. These principles work for anyone with the patience and discipline. Which, raises an important question, doesn't it? If this janitor, no fancy degree, no world-changing invention, if he could do this with just patience, consistency, long-term thinking, what does that say about the potential inside all of us?
It really makes you think. His life gives us such a clear roadmap. Okay, so we've got the principles. Let's make this practical. How can you listening actually start applying this stuff? Ronald's path to freedom, how do you start walking it?
Okay, yeah. Let's break down some specific actions, tangible stuff from the research.
All right, step 1. Sounds basic, maybe, but track every dollar. Ronald knew where his money went, not because he was cheap, but because he respected it.
Exactly. If you don't track your spending, you're just leaking money. You don't even know where it's going. Start simple, budget, know what comes in, know exactly what goes out, and then, cut the nonsense.
The daily coffees, the unused subscriptions.
All that stuff, the status purchases. You can't build wealth if your money just vanishes each month.
Makes sense. Okay, step 2. Pay yourself first.
Crucial.
This isn't saving what's left over at the end of the month, right?
No. It's saving before you spend on anything else. Allocate it to your future first, even if you think you earn too little. Commit to saving something, maybe 10%. Right off the top. One source put it really well. $50 might seem small now, but compound it for 30 years, and it could easily become your freedom fund. And they stress, if you can't save when you earn little, you'll never save when you earn a lot. Habits start small.
Okay. Step 3, invest automatically.
Right.
Take the thinking out of it.
Pretty much. Make consistency the default setting. Open a brokerage account, lots of easy options now, and set up automatic investments every month. Same amount.
What kind of investments?
Focus on what Ronald did. Dividend-paying stocks, maybe broad market index funds, ETFs, diversified, steady stuff. Key thing, don't try to time the market. Don't chase the latest hype. Just buy regularly, reinvest those dividends, let compounding work its magic.
Apps like Robinhood, M1, Fidelity, Vanguard can help automate that.
Yeah, they make the mechanics of it pretty simple these days.
Okay, his consistency sounds great, but what about when the market does drop? That brings us to step 4. Ignore the noise.
Right. Ronald didn't panic, remember? He didn't chase trends either. He trusted the process because historically, over long periods, the market goes up. Decades matter more than days. Most people lose money because they bail out too early, or they buy high when everyone's excited and sell low when everyone's scared. Panic selling.
Classic mistake.
Ronald understood short-term swings are just noise, part of the deal. Like waiting for a sale, remember? Reminds me of Warren Buffett's famous line, if you're not willing to hold something for 10 years, don't even think about holding it for 10 minutes.
Powerful. Okay, finally, step 5. Stay humble. Stay hidden. Back to Ronald's quiet approach.
Yeah. The real goal, the real flex, as they say, it isn't the expensive watch or the fancy car. It's waking up and not having to go to work because your alarm clock demands it.
Financial freedom.
Exactly. It's being able to truly help your family, maybe fund someone's education, support causes you care about quietly. That's wealth. That's freedom. Ronald lived like no one else, so he could give like no one else. That's real power.
So the message here is, you're not too late. You're not too broke. You just need to start.
Start somewhere.
Start small. Stay consistent. And just be relentless about it.
Absolutely. Ronald Reed, he didn't make headlines while he was alive, but he definitely made history. He proved that anyone, doesn't matter where you start, how much you earn, anyone can build significant wealth. Simple principles applied patiently. So if a janitor can leave behind $8 million, what could you do with 10, 20, 30 years of that same kind of patience and discipline?
Makes you wonder.
It's not just a cool story. It really is a roadmap for you.